It's the 1st of June here in Italy. We are in a beautiful park, and this is the lifestyle that we wanted to live for such a long time. But for the past 8-9 years, this very month of the year was the start of our anxiety. Because if you have an online business, if you have sold courses before, if you've done launches before, you know how much work there is behind it, how much there is planning on content, on funnels, on preparing the online event, and all of the things that goes with it. We used to panic months before September because we had to organize the team. We have to design and tell them exactly what to do, design the copy and everything else. That's why, yes, we were looking forward for the big payday at the end of September, but all summer will be ruined. And this was just one side of running an online business for us. For so many years, we brute forced our way into making money online, serving people, yes, but forgetting about the most important part of the equation, us.
For some reason, we always put ourselves as the last thing to think about, almost like we weren't important, and the only thing that was important was to keep together the team, have everything ready. It was about the customer. It was about everyone else and everything else but us. Isn't it insanely stupid in that sense?
I think the online business industry, if you want to call it that, sort of forced this belief that in order to make it, we needed to hustle and grind constantly until we made it. And this was the philosophy that I personally adopted. You adopted it for so many years, but we didn't really define what making it was, and we never really blew it out of the water, making so many millions. And apart from that, you might have noticed that many millionaires online have started thinking back on their past and how they grew their business as well, because money is not the thing that they were looking for. What we were looking for when we incorporated our company was to escape the rat race and live our life in our own terms and gain freedom. But we never stopped for a second to define what freedom was for us. So we started working on this business that eventually chewed us alive, spat us out, and made us reconsider our life choices for, like, it was a couple of years ago when you freaked out on me because we were constantly creating content. We had team meetings all the time. Every month there is a rolling promotion to be pushed, content that was more like a selling machine than sharing for the passion of sharing. And we were burnt out without knowing until you really freaked out and said, you know what, I had enough of this. Do you want me to dance until I'm 90?
Which there is nothing wrong if you do it for yourself, but not to actually continuously think about how to run a business. And I remember you kind of looked at me as in, what? Don't you know that this is exactly what you signed up for?
Yeah.
And I turned around and went, I'm not doing this at all. Thank you very much, but I'm out.
Yeah, from that point on, it was an incredible journey for us, especially as a couple, as business partners. And it was a journey of realization that we put ourselves aside for such a long time that we took for granted that the business had to be nurtured. And that was a complete opposite philosophy on what it should be, really. Because we realized that you can craft a business based on you first, and it can be wildly successful. Why do I know this? Because we spent since the day you freaked out, after long discussions, arguing and throwing things at each other the Italian way, we grew as people, because I started accepting that we've got one life and we should have sat down and decided what freedom meant for us and what happiness meant for us, and then changed our business accordingly.
And mind you, we're not here to tell you, things will just happen if you think about, your ideal life and how beautiful it's going to be, because we are the kind of people that will work very hard towards something that we absolutely believe in, and we're going to pour our heart and soul into it And that doesn't feel like working. But when it becomes a struggle, when it doesn't spark joy anymore, that is exactly the time when you think, now it's time to pivot. Now it's time to change, because of what felt right back then. Now it feels like a chore. It's draining me. I don't have any more energy to give. So don't think that, oh no, I'm not going to do anything ever in life. I'm just going to think about how beautiful it's going to be, and then things will happen, out of the blue. No, there is still going to be, work to be done, but it's how you work around it, how much time you put into it, the way you put time into what you create and what you build, even if it is repivoting and changing. Sometimes at the very beginning it feels a little bit clunky, or you need to think about a little bit more about what needs to be done. But the excitement of doing something so beautiful and so new and more aligned with the way you want to live, right? The freedom, your definition of freedom, that is crazy incredible and so exciting. So it doesn't even feel like a work anymore. You know that at the beginning it's like that, but then it's gonna be exactly what you signed up for.
This is not just about, like you said, like seeing life in a positive way. It's got to do like a very technically how you run your business. So it's about your model, it's about your funnel, it's about how you show up, your energy, and also your offer and your vehicle. Over the years, when we did the transition, we developed a few different ways of doing things that were based on simplicity. So there's something that we call the access model, for example, which is something that we coach our clients through, which allow them to still provide the same service to their people if that's what they want to do, but in a much different way that allows them to simplify their offer and just have layers of proximity to them. This is one way that you can simplify things. And also, if you hated launching as much as we did, we had to replace launching with something that was just as effective. Mm-hmm. So we replaced launching with what we now call the invisible funnel, which is based on a resonance content architecture that we put together strategically, but it feels like we're just sharing content for us and for people that watch us. But we do it in a way that then our content pre-sells our people into what we want to offer. There are so many things here that we developed that allowed us to practically change the way we run our business. And of course, we needed to be ready. We needed to be ready because our energy and our identity had to match that as well. And this is part of the conversation that we've had in order to get here. This allowed us to be able to run a business that now generates 10 to 30K a month without a team, without having to have a huge to-do list, without having to work so many hours a day. We actually work 3 to 4 hours a day. We can work at the park, it's fine. And this allowed more abundance and more energy for us to give even more to our community. For the past year, we've coached people on exactly what we talked about so far, but it was always one-to-one. I personally felt like I needed to test this curriculum, to test our method to others to see if that works, if others would resonate with it, and if it will work for them as well. With our, not surprise, but excitement, we found that every time we had a new client, they would go through the process very smoothly, and therefore we tweaked and changed our curriculum in order for this to be almost like straightforward. And I think the time now has come where Alessia said, but can we have a community where we can share all of the things that we learned and have hard discussions and connect with others that may not be ready for working one-to-one with us in a much more relaxed, but of course very solid and positive group? And I finally said yes.
Yeah, if I felt a little bit like it was our marriage when I kept saying, should we get married? No. Should we get married? No. Should we get married? Okay, so at one point he said yes. The same thing with a community of people where I totally understood where it was coming from. It's about connecting with the person that you have in front, having the one-on-one and co-creating something absolutely magical and tailor-made, and working with the right people one-on-one. It's incredible. I'm not gonna deny. But there was something that I was missing. I really was missing the whole community and being together with other entrepreneurs where we could share more and more and feed off each other's energy in this process together. Because some of our clients, they went through the process, but then I said, but what if we could actually put them all together and continue this journey where they arrived to a certain point, but then the discussions can keep going. And that was my idea. And Iacopo said, but I'm an introvert person and I'm not, like, I want to one-on-one. But on the other point, I said that, but I'm very, I want my community. And also
That's
what
why we work well together.
I know, but I also felt that not everyone is ready to work on a one-on-one co-creation setting. And as much as beautiful as it can be, for some people might be intimidating. And it might be, like me, I said to him, I'm not the kind of person that would jump straight onto a one-on-one. I would feel very much uncomfortable, although I'm a very social person, but I would feel that I'm under scrutiny. Maybe it comes from my past career as a dancer. When I was in the studio one-on-one with my coach, I felt like I could not go wrong. And anything that was a mistake, I was actually seeing. And that's what gave me a little bit of anxiety. So I would never be the first one to say, oh, I'm just going to jump a one-on-one. I usually am very good at just jumping in the community, being the leader of that community and make people quite excited of being in there and share their emotion and share their ups and downs. I'm very good at that. I mean, this is coming. But I said, then the more confident I become with the leader of the group and the person that has created it, then I could say, I'm now ready to come into a one-on-one. I said, this is me, this is the way I work, and not everyone is just ready to jump on. So I said, why don't we actually finally put together this community? And Iacopo said, like the marriage, yes. It's like, yes, finally this is happening. So finally it's here, and what we have decided to create is a community that we now call The Club.
The club is the place where if you're not quite ready to work with us one-to-one, you would get a little bit more proximity to us anyway. It's an intimate place, which is not a glorified course with a community attached to it. That is not the point. I think you've gone through enough courses. You've been in enough communities that were mainly for beginners or for people that are at the beginning stage of their online journey. This is not going to be that. I am personally tired of talking about how to create a lead magnet, how to sell an online course.
If the funnel is working, or what should I tweak about the funnel? I was like, it's not about that.
I want to talk about, guys, I've got this community that, yes, is making money, but it drives me nuts. Can you help me understand why and how can I transition? Or I've got this team member that is not performing and I don't know how to get rid of it and I feel bad about getting rid of it. That is the stuff that we had to go through when we simplified our business. Actual, tangible discussions that we couldn't make anywhere else. And
especially because the people that they might be around you, they might not be so interested and might say, oh, just suck it up and keep going. You know, you've got a business, so deal with it. So this is the kind of community where you just go in, you go, I really need some serious help. I really want to speak the same language and I want to talk about how I feel, the identity behind my business, the identity behind myself, and if I'm going through a transition, if I want to take that next step and next phase of the business. What is it? Where is it? This is the kind of conversations that we want to have.
And of course, we don't have millions of subscribers, so the group is going to be small at the beginning, which means you're going to get huge amount of access to us, which is fantastic for you. I really envy you. We want to over-deliver as well because we already have in mind to bring in guests as well, people that we've known along the way that helped us or that we helped them and they have a specific skill or vibe that we want to bring to the audience. In our community, we'll do that.
Plus the workshops with the two of us where we can share our experience and how to best navigate your business and where it is and if it still sparks joy.
yeah, we can share our model, how we run things, and all the things that you might already know or not know, but actually practically put them in practice in a way that makes you feel good. This is, we should have called the feel good community.
The feel good community, but it would have been so totally wrong.
Exactly, we don't want to do yoga retreats yet. So we are going to open doors on the 5th of June. If you're watching this video afterwards, check the link below if you want to have more see more details, and there might be a wait list there. If you see the wait list, join the wait list, because for the first 10 members we're going to offer a one-to-one 60 minutes call with us for you to tackle anything you want. We generally tailor this for offer creations if you want more direction on how to craft an offer that makes sense for you and your audience, but we can really cover whatever you want in an hour that we have together. This is very expensive usually, but we'll chuck it in for the first time members because we want to over deliver for the pioneers, the early birds, let's say.
I know that there is a lot of very excitement in this video, and we haven't really spoken about all the details, but as Iacopo said, there is a link down in the description box below that will explain everything that we have in mind and how it's going to be run. I don't know, I get too excited when I want to put something out into the world and actually offer it to people that I forget about everything else that I want to say.
Let's be frank for a second. If you feel like your business is heavy, and it's been heavy for a while now, and you are starting to watch videos like this because you have no idea where to go, you've done all of the courses, you've done all of the right things, you follow the funnels, you build so many of them, you launched and relaunched. If that is the wheel, the spinning wheel that is keeping you alive, because of course you need to make money, you don't need more strategy, you don't need more knowledge, you need a guidance towards a new identity. A new identity is gonna be able to level up your business in a way that it's fair for you. It's gonna bring back the joy, and we created our community exactly for people like you that want to transition towards that direction and finally make it happen without having go through another course, getting bored, overwhelmed, quit, and repeat the cycle to the end of time. We don't want that for you. So if you are interested, if you feel it, if you feel it in the body that something is right about what I'm saying, just check the link in the description box below and see if it's for you. We'll be happy to welcome you in the community.
This is the life you want to live? Join the club.
And if you want to know a bit more about our story and our method in general, there is one video I can recommend to you, which is going to tell you the whole story and maybe take some ideas that you can implement today. This is the video.